there, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 13 of Junk Journal January. Prompt for today is layers, which is one that I am super excited about because, as you know, I love layering in my junk journal. It's probably one of my favourite things to do in my junk journal. So today I'm just going to literally do a spread that has lots of layers, all different papers. I think I'm going to keep it quite neutral, but what I've gone ahead and done is just sort of raided my stash a bit, purely for just like scraps of paper, and I've basically got like a bunch of different papers that I want to use. So I have just like some torn like note paper, I've got a little flower cut off that's appeared from somewhere, I've got some cardstock just that were left over from cutting other things, I've got some tea-dyed paper, I've got this really beautiful like textured, it almost looks a bit like leaves or something that are in the paper, but this is a really nice texture, so that'll be good for layering as well. I've got an envelope because after yesterday's prompt with the envelope, I went and raided my stash and found that I did actually have an envelope. So I really enjoyed seeing people's pages with how they decorated their envelopes, so that inspired me to maybe see if I could incorporate this. It is slightly too tall, but we'll see how we go. But I really like the brown of this anyway, so even if I just use it as paper. This just orange scrap, I think this was like end paper. This is from an old like music sheets book thingy. This is just the cover, so it was that price. And then just some book papers. So this is the spread that I'm going to be working on. So as you can see, I've got one side that has a bit of text on it, and then one side that is just a plain tea-dyed sheet of paper. So what I'm probably going to do is see how I can work with my papers with what I've already got on the background, and maybe like still incorporate this into my spread. So I think the easiest way to start off is to just pick out a few things that you like, and I'm just gonna tear them up just because I'm working on a smaller surface. So I'm gonna make sure that my pieces are sort of appropriately sized for the spread that I'm working on, and then I'm just going to sort of test them out and see how I like them. So I think the key to having like successful layers that don't look like you've just dumped a load of stuff on your page is to definitely test them out, see if you like them, do they work with your spread. As you can see, I've kind of kept it to very neutral colours so that there's no clashing going on, but I mean, if you like bright colours then go ahead, but I love beige, so that's no secret. But I just think that these tones are going to work really well together, so we'll put this aside because I think I might try and incorporate the envelope. I don't know, I wish it was literally just an inch shorter, and then it would be perfect. Maybe I could just fold it over and no one would notice. We'll see. And then I'm just gonna tear some off this. Do I want any of the words? Probably not. No. Sometimes you get really good like song titles, but I don't think Ho Ho the Wagon Song is a phrase for my journal. So I'm just gonna pick the bit that I think will look good on my spread. This is quite like bright yellow, but I think it looks quite different for my journal. So what I'm going to do is, because this yellow is quite bright, I'm going to put this as the piece that's on the bottom, and I'm doing this because then everything that goes on top, bit by bit, it will sort of cover it and sort of push it into the background. So I'm going to do a collage that sort of goes across both pages, and then I'm probably going to put a little like quote in the middle, I think, and that's probably going to look the best. Now you want to make sure, if you're going across like me, that you don't put too many papers going across in the center, otherwise you'll end up with like a really chunky page and a chunky book that's hard to fold. So what I'm going to do is have some papers that go like across, but then I'm going to have some that are going to just be on one side or the other side. So I'm basically just going to test out and see what I like. It doesn't have to be the finished like spread, but it's just best to just test things out. So because you might discover that you like something, or you might discover that maybe you thought of like a different way of doing it once you have it all laid out. I think I want a smaller piece of that one, and I might have that like hanging off the edge slightly. That looks really nice. And then I don't want to cover the whole page too much because I still want to be able to see the back. And what I'm going to do, say like this piece, I think I'm going to tuck it mostly under here. In order to minimize the layers, I'm going to cut this so there's not as much of the paper going underneath. So that way it's just saving and reducing any bulk that I've got on my spread. So it is a little difficult because they're all moving around whilst I'm trying to coordinate them, but I think it's the best way to make sure that you get a spread that you are happy with, and you like the end result. So I think I quite like that because then I've got this space here. Sometimes you might find that not everything is going to fit on your page that you maybe have pulled out from your stash, but I'm just going to add maybe this little bit. See, this I think just looks too white for the rest of the page. I could tea dye it, but I can't be bothered tea dyeing just for this little tiny piece. So that's probably one I'm going to have like tucked underneath and it can peek out. So I think I'm happy with that layout because the orange is going to be like the focal point, and that's probably where I'm going to put my little quote. So I'm just going to use another one of these little sayings and I'm going to pop that there. So I think I'm going to glue these down now, so I will speed it up for you so you don't have to see me tediously gluing everything down. So I will join you in a sec when this is all glued down. So I'm going to move my saying just to here because I can feel that this area of the page is getting quite bulky, and I don't want it to obviously get lost within like the pages when they go in. So I've just moved that to here. So there's a little journaling spot here that I might journal in, I don't know. So I'm going to add some washi tape to this page, I think. I'm going to try and pick some colours that go with the feel of the page. Okay, so I've picked out some colours and let's see, I don't think that one complements very well. I feel like these three complement this spread the best. I think the metallic is gonna throw it off a bit just because there already is a lot going on in this page. So that's how I normally test out which washes I'm going to use. I pick a bunch and then I sort of hold them to the side of the page and try and work out which ones I think are going to go. And I haven't used much of this one yet, so I'm gonna, it's got a really like subtle, like florally, not floral, like I think it's like a leaf print, as if it's been imprinted on the washi, which is really sweet. So I think I'm gonna maybe have it not so thick. And then let's see where I want to put this. I just kind of feel like this will sort of be like the stitching between my pages, just to join them together a bit, and then it doesn't look so like hodgepodge. So this is gonna unify my page, hopefully, because I just feel like this is quite a harsh line, whereas if I maybe add some washi tape to it, it might not look as harsh. So I'm just going to go across here just so I don't get in the way of the flower. There we go. And then I think something just here, just to add a little something. Maybe another one of these purple ones, just because they blend into the page quite well, and it's quite like translucent, so you can see through. You can see through the page. So maybe one there. There we go. So I think I'm just gonna maybe add some little doodles. I've been doing this a lot just to embellish some of my pages, add a bit of interest to them. So there we go. I feel like this and this are going to be journal spots that I might come back to, but I think for now I'm really happy with how this has turned out. You want to be careful with layering, it can get quite busy, so I feel like this is a good place to stop, and then maybe I can revisit it with some journaling. Maybe I will add some tracing paper that has some journaling over the top, and that can be like a tip in between the page, but I wouldn't really want to journal over much else, because like this is quite busy, so you'll not be able to read your writing and you'll lose the pattern. Same goes for this, you can't really read over these. So I think that's going to be my page. So I hope you've enjoyed this junk journal with me. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not, so you don't miss out on these Junk Journal January videos. If you have any ideas for videos you would like to see me do after Junk Journal January has finished, do let me know down below, because I am starting to make a list. I'm thinking once Junk Journal January is finished and I have burnt out from doing all these videos, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, but it's a lot to do. So I'm probably going to take a week to recover, and then come back with a weekly video. So let me know if there's anything you'd love to see, and until then I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.